Okay, we're here with Carissa Fraizer for the Redken's Sweet Emotions class. Take it away, Carissa.
Hi, good morning. My name is Carissa Fraizer. I'm your Redken Regional Educator for Los Angeles. I live in California. I'm so excited to be here with you this morning. We're going over a lot of business hot tips and just a lot of things that I think will help you behind the chair, not only from a business standpoint, but just like emotionally as a stylist, and then how we can connect and create empathy with our guests in the chair as well. So I hope you enjoy this. A couple things to just share with you is if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I will be checking periodically. No question is ever a dumb question. This is an extremely safe place. This is your space. So please ask all the questions that you need to, engage as much as possible, take screenshots of things that I have. If you need me to go back to a slide, drop it in the chat and I will go back as well. Anytime I have like a pausing moment, I'll give you a couple minutes just to see if you have anything that needs to come through. And I hope you just enjoy the presentation that we have at hand. So let's get started. All right. Okay, so hopefully you can see this really clear. We did some awesome testing this morning, so it should be good. I love Salon Emotion. I think it's an amazing program. A lot of the times we are working on technique behind the chair, so we are always looking at how do we elevate our skills as far as foiling or it comes to styling and finishing. And I think it's really important to just take a second and realize how we can also connect with our clients as well. So what we're going through today is called, oops, sorry. What we're going through today is called Salon Emotion. What's going to be happening in the next slide is I want you to watch this video, listen to the customer service, and really just take kind of note on what you see on how things used to be and how much they have changed to where they are now. So I'm going to go ahead and play that video, and then we're going to get back together.
But forget appearances. It's not a West End bar. It's not the cocktail lounge of a smart hotel. In fact, it's a hairdressing salon at Hounslow, Middlesex, where clients are afforded truly fabulous treatment. For the coiffure-seeking lassies who come here, it's a day's outing. Taped music softly plays, but that's just a background to a fantastic assortment of services provided by Leonard Pountney. Naturally, hairdressing plays an important part, but who can tell these days if a top knot of loveliness is real or not? If it is real, you do have the advantage here of lunching under the dryer. Not for the fair sex alone has Leonard Pountney provided attractions extraordinary. Men have glamour to gaze at, service with a smile. Cigarettes are on hand to add more leisure to hairdressing luxury. And even if a short back and sides is a necessity, the businessman can carry on working. How different this is. What a change has taken place since the drab barber shops of pre-war days. Hairdressing must now go hand in hand with window dressing. Back to Modem, and Modem has a style created in wood shavings to show her how she'll finally emerge from the Pountney Palace. Modem has a fashion show to match her hair with the latest line. So lush has Leonard Pountney made his salon, so away from it all, that who can blame bikini girls for forgetting the cold climate outside?
Okay, so that was really interesting. I was watching along with you, and some things that I look at as far as how customer service has changed so much. I mean, I seen people eating underneath the dryer. They were selling cigarettes. They were allowed to smoke in the salon at that time. I also noticed like full service, so someone getting a haircut and also getting a manicure. I know in a lot of spaces we still provide things like that. Window dressing was really popular, so almost like everything was on display. And it just seems so different. Even the way that they would present wigs, they had them on a head form and just showing your client to just really make them feel like you cared a lot. I feel like there was a lot of empathy and a lot of connection that was happening there. And with going through these emotions as part of Salon Emotion, that's the goal, is to try to get back to that, having customer service on an elite level. So what does amazing customer service to you? I want you to take a second and think about maybe one time that you went to go eat, or you went to go get a service, or even shopping, whatever it was, and that it was amazing. Okay, so I'll give you a couple minutes to get that in your head. I'm going to think as well. So a lot of the times I base amazing service off of being greeted. Like, to me, that's a big one. When I walk into a store or into a restaurant, I do like to be greeted. I like to feel seen, right? So I know that that's a big deal. Other things is kind of like feeling cared about, right? Feeling catered to. I know one of the big things is like when we go out to eat, a lot of the times we're focusing on how our waiter or waitress is treating us. So I kind of like to relate my customer service in the salon to that as well. The other thing is, a lot of the times we don't talk enough about great service. We talk about bad service, meaning like we had a bad experience, and it's because our emotional connection with that experience takes us to another level. And we're more prone to talking about having a bad experience, like, don't go to this place, I ate there, I didn't love it. Versus when you have a good experience, sometimes we like to gatekeep that. Like, we don't want to share it with anybody because it becomes ours. But I always say share. You know, if you have a great experience, let someone know so they can have that great same experience as you did, or just that's how we want to connect. Also, we want people to share your great services that you're giving as well. So the importance of an experience. So 80% of companies believe that they have good service. 8% of clients agree. And then you'll notice that 95% of clients who experience bad service share it with others. So just like I was talking about earlier, if we have a bad service, we're more prone to talking about it because we're upset. Then when you look at market figures, the total number of hairdressers this year in 2025 is down. The number of times people go into the hair to get their hair service is down, and the total numbers in retail transactions has been down. I noticed since COVID happened, we had like a huge shift. Now we're 5 years past COVID, so we're, kind of like evolving, gaining ground on how to get back to what's really important to us and our practices. So total number of salon visits per year. So in 2010, the average person would visit the salon about 7.1 times. Now they're going even less times. So they're there about 5.3 times. So about 2.5 times less than what they usually would do. So I feel like people feel like they don't need to go to the salon as often as they did prior, or maybe our lifestyle has changed, right? Like our economy, people start to retire, things shift. So for whatever reason, the number of services that are times that they are coming into the salon to get service is down. So we want to make every experience count. So 25% fewer salon visits than 8 years ago, which is a pretty big, significant number. Our industry today in the future, so we're down 7% in salon transactions. In retail revenue, so independent salons are down 6%. We want to get back to elevating that number and having a plus sign versus a negative sign, and each one of us can make a difference. So let's talk about the client journey. The client journey is what you're doing every day behind the chair. It's the experience that you're creating. I know that you all do amazing hair, but now you have to take it to another level and think like, how do I elevate this service? I know here in California, when we go out and we look around, there's a salon on every corner. So what's going to make my business different from the salon next door or the suite next door, so that I can make sure that my clients feel loved and seen? So we're going to go through these steps. They're going to be part of like your window or your reception, our consultation, treatment lounge, your services, retail, and checkout. So we're trying to create a bookend experience. A bookend experience means that you have that same energy from the beginning of your day to the end of your day. And I always say, if you start your day at 8 a.m. and we're all happy and awake because we're starting our day, right? And then at the end of our day, if our energy starts to get a little low because we've worked, I always say, if your energy can't be the same, if your 5 p.m. cannot have the same energy as your 8 p.m., then maybe we need to reassess and like shorten our day a little bit, and maybe take my last client at 3. We want everyone to have the same energy so that everybody gets that beautiful experience that you're creating. So let's dive into it. So growth opportunities. The first one is going to be, how do we elevate the client experience in our current environment? So take a second and think about, this is what my space is like, right? What opportunities do I have? And it could be something as small as maybe you're going to offer like a warm towel while a treatment is processing for 3 minutes, right? Um, Maybe you want to incorporate like a little hand massage while your client is relaxing and their treatment is sitting. Think about the things that people always say. You know, like my favorite part when getting my hair done is the wash. So how can maybe how can you elevate that service? Something as small as like maybe you want to light a candle, right? Maybe you want to dim the light so that they feel like they can relax a little bit, have relaxing music, whatever it is to elevate your services. And then how do we elevate the client experience in the future? Sometimes not everything has to cost money to elevate it, right? It could just be when your client comes in, asking them how they're doing today, right? Like I know that they're there for a service and they want to get their hair done, but how are you doing today? What did your day look like today? Sharing that emotional connection as far as that you do care, because a lot of the times they're sitting in your chair because they like us. Not only do they love the hair that we are providing, the services that we are providing, but they connect with us as individuals. So we want to give that same experience for them. So remember that people don't buy goods, people do not buy goods and services. They buy relations, stories, and magic. So a lot of the times, I mean, I know in the past I've heard, this person does a good job, but I love them so much that I want to keep going to them. Or I love them so much because they give the best massage, right? So they're not always buying everything that you're putting out, but they want to relate to you because of the way that you're making them feel. So it plays a huge impact. We also have to learn, you know, what we're going through temporarily in our personal lives when we step in those doors to provide services, that it's truly about our clients, because that's why they showed up. All right, so what business do you think demonstrates amazing experience? So maybe think of like someone on Instagram that you follow, or even in person, that you feel like the minute you walk in, you feel seen. I know which one I feel seen at, and this, you guys are gonna laugh at this, but I feel very seen when I go to Chick-fil-A. So when I go to Chick-fil-A, they're asking me how my day is. They greet me really nice. They don't ever rush me throughout my order. Let me take my time. I don't feel any kind of pressure there. I can ask any questions that I need to. If I was to dine in, they would bring the food to me. And then I always notice that they end with my pleasure, right? So they never make me feel like, I know it's something silly and small as far as it being Chick-fil-A, but they always make you feel like, wow, that was awesome, right? So I feel like even on a fast food experience, for me, Chick-fil-A is up there just because of the way that they treat their clients. When it goes to like shopping, I always say like Nordstrom's. So a lot of the times when you're shopping at Nordstrom's, if you're collecting things that you want to try on, they'll start a room for you. If they see that you need another size, they'll run and get it for you. And that, to me, that just helps me throughout my experience, so that I can stay in the moment of like maybe trying on clothes or figuring out if I like something or not. But I feel seen when I go to Nordstrom's and I shop and I try on clothes because they cater to me there. So just thinking about things like that. Now, the client experience is defined as by the range of emotions felt by clients before, during, and after purchase of products or services. So it's a full experience that's happening that we connect to our clients with. So remember to service with empathy. So a lot of the times, understanding empathy on another level will help you behind the chair and also as a human being. So I'm going to be playing a little video shortly that I want you to pay attention to. I love this video a lot. I think it makes a huge difference, and it just makes me, kind of pulls on my heartstrings and helps me to connect not only with myself, but the people that I'm servicing.
So what is empathy, and why is it very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy, it's very interesting. Teresa Wiseman is a nursing scholar who studied professions, very diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of another person or recognize their perspective as their truth. Staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy is feeling with people. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space when someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then we look and we say, hey, you climb down. I know what it's like down here, and you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, no. You want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with at least. Yeah. And we do it all the time, because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So I had a miscarriage. Oh, at least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student. But one of the things we do sometimes in the face of very difficult conversations is we try to make things better. If I share something with you that's very difficult, I'd rather you say, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm just so glad you told me. Because the truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection.
Okay, so I hope you were able to connect with that video. I like that video because it just reminds us that, we never know what someone else is going through. I know this is going to sound crazy, but sometimes, a lot of the times, when I'm working behind the chair, I think I have been able to create this experience that my clients feel very comfortable, and they feel comfortable being in a vulnerable space, whether it's what they want to share with me, if they need a shoulder to cry on, I provide tissues, but all of that happens because of how I'm able to relate to them. And I know we're all different. I know not everybody can tap into that empathy realm, but it just makes us more aware of kind of like our responses. So if somebody's going to be vulnerable and share something with us, then how can we respond to them with still helping them feel seen? So it's about being real, right? It's not about being nice, but I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's about two-way understanding and not always about agreeing. So sometimes when we're listening, we kind of get into like, yeah, okay, that's cool, right? We get into those responses because we're kind of like in level one listening. So level one listening is like when you're preoccupied, whether you're on your phone or you're you're like working through your client's haircut, foiling, whatever it is, and you're so focused on what you're doing that you're not fully listening, which I understand. But sometimes I think if it's a deep moment and somebody's sharing something, then maybe just let them know, like, I'm listening to you. I'm just working through it. It's more about communication, right? I'm going to pop in these foils. You keep going. I'm here for you. And it's about mindful curiosity. It's not about sympathy. So I think what we learned about sympathy is that it's not always just having a response. So being able to kind of feel what your client is feeling because they felt comfortable enough to share with you their life. So clients' needs versus human wants. So meeting your client's needs is always going to be expected, and then honoring your human's needs is memorable. So remember that their needs are to get their hair done as far as a client, but their human needs are going to be just for you to listen, show love, and really just be heard. And that's how we create a mutual respect. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I love that quote. I think it's really strong and important, and we can try to live by that as much as possible. It definitely will show. So here's going to be the 5 guiding principles. So connect sincerely, transmit expertise that matters, show that you genuinely and really care, personalize your advice. So just be, I always say, like, if you're going to give advice, every scenario is different, and just, try to really listen and think about the advice that you might want to hear back, because sometimes things come out ways we don't anticipate, and offer I can't say this word, experiential moments. All right, so think about how we can elevate our service. So industries are transforming, delivering entirely new experiences to consumers, and we have to figure out how to raise the bar. So I'm just looking at like the creativity in that first bubble, personalization. So the personalization is that it's called the lip lab. I'm not sure if you've ever been there. A lip lab is where you can go and create your own lipstick, lip gloss, but you get to put your own kind of like swag on it. You get to like have that moment of being creative and you're engaging with somebody because you have a host. So working on that. And then also you can see that bubble on the bottom that says digital. So many things have changed. I went into a store recently and they had an iPad in the dressing room and you could swipe and look at another piece of their collection that you may have wanted to try on. When I'm looking at digitally, I'm looking at Sephora. So Sephora lets you like kind of digitally try on makeup and things like that. I know we have a Redken Style Station app. In the Redken Style Station app, you can actually try on like a formula of hair color to see if that would be fitting for you. So we're always kind of looking for ways on how to elevate and raise the bar. So remember that we care for more than just hair, right? So this is what this is all about, is emotionally connecting with our clients. So here's going to be the 7 steps of the Salon Emotion experience. So we're going to start with window. We're going to go all the way around in this infinity sign, and we're going to end at checkout. So let's go. So be engaging. Did you know that 30% of clients are attracted by salon windows today? So your mission is to try to, advertise yourself not only through your window as far as like if somebody was walking by, but I also want you to think about like a digital window. So 30% of customers traffic is generated by dynamic window displays. So I know that I've gone into stores before or even complimented somebody's window display because it looks amazing or it looks interesting. And sometimes you might not think about going in a place and then they have an awesome window and you're like, let's just see, right? Like, what do we have to lose? The same thing can happen in the salon industry. 40% of new clients want to see the salon's rating and reviews. This is big, so we know Yelp is big. Another place that we always look for reviews is Amazon, right? Amazon is a big one. I guarantee you that I go on Amazon at least once a day because I know it's convenient, one, and I know that I can find almost anything on there. But then the second thing that I'm looking at as soon as I find something is rating and reviews. I want to see, are people posting photos? Do they have, what good things do they have to say? What negative things do they have to say? And then make my own basically educated decision on if I want to buy that or not. The other thing I like about Amazon is if you need to do a return, it's not frowned upon. So if something doesn't work out for you and you get it, they are welcoming to make things right. 80% of customers search for salons and websites on Google and Yelp. I believe that. I also think Facebook and Instagram is in there as well. So be engaging. So a lot of times when we talk about a digital window, people are Googling a business. Make sure that you offer online booking. So whatever service you have, if you're going to work on Instagram, I know that you can put like a booking button and it can link to like a Booksy, or it can link to like, I have something called, it's like called Gloss Me, and then you can go in there and book an appointment that way. Square does that as well. Even having your own website would provide information for your clients. I'm not necessarily saying that you need to provide prices because every canvas that you work on is going to be completely different. So I would say kind of stay away from having like a set price, but you can have a baseline of what something can start at. And then think about your physical attraction. So must-haves when it comes to feature information on products. So a lot of the times I like shelf talkers. So shelf talkers are like these little squares of information, whether it's like a little sign or it's going to be something really cute that just gives hot tips on how to use that product, or draws attraction on why somebody should take that product home. Remember, imagery and promotions is really important. And then having like just little promotions, like this one will say level loyalty. So level loyalty is great for us. Like if we go into Salon Centric, we know that that connects to our account. So we're always building some type of loyalty program. Maybe you want to do a punch card. Maybe you want to do a referral program, whatever's going to work best for you. Just taking a second to look in the chat. I don't see anything in there. Just a reminder, if you have anything, please pop it in. No question is ever a dumb question, okay? So I've been hearing a lot more about like marketing software. So Glamatic is one of them. Glamatic is a place where you can go and have like a storefront online digitally. So 72% of people search for salons on Glamatic, right? And also on Google. 67% of salon websites are from their phone. 75% make their decision based on the 5 results that they're finding on Google. So the solution for Glamatic is it's a no setup cost. There's no contracts, there's no hidden fees, and then it's a way for you to do branding, web design, and just be able to promote yourself with social media. So Glamatic is a great platform for you to tap into if you're kind of like lost or unsure on how to get started on really being able to level up when it comes to your digital window and platform. Social media can be a beast. I know, like, it's always kind of hard, like, okay, I have to create content, or how do I be relatable, or think about how many times you go on someone's profile and you kind of just want to see what they look like. It's really important for you to have maybe like a highlight story, or even like pin something that's an introductory, so that somebody knows that when they book an appointment with you, like, that's the person that I'm looking for, so that they just kind of have a connection with you. They feel like they might know a little bit about you, and it's a little more welcoming. So Innovo Shop is a group that's going to help you to sorry. Let me slow down. Innovo Shop is going to be a platform that's going to help you to create any like window displays. Maybe you want to like mount some things and you need to print some things off. Anything you're looking for as far as signage products. You'll notice these things that I'm sharing with you, they all have a QR code in the right-hand corner or somewhere on the screen. So take a screenshot of them and look into them later on when you have some downtime and you really just want to start building. So the next step in our client journey is going to be the welcome in. So did you know that 68% of clients feel anxious walking in for the first time? Getting your hair done is exciting. Getting a service, even if it's like estheticianing, it could be getting a massage, it could be getting a manicure. It's exciting, right? And sometimes we feel nervous, and it's just because of the unknown. Like, you don't know what your service is going to be like. So it's really up to us to help make people feel really comfortable with just settling their anxiety, maybe offering them a water, a drink. And I always like to ask for like photos and things like that for inspiration, but reminding them that it's not replication. So it's a point to have a shared reality. So our mission is to welcome your clients as soon as they arrived in a very personal way. So 90% of people believe first impressions are very important. I agree with that. I'm part of that 95%. Welcome in protocols are going to be a bookend client experience. So having great customer service from front to back in the entire experience. So reinforce all relevant information. Your call to action is going to be the relationship in your business. So in our current environment, what are you creating? And then how can you elevate it in the future? You're welcome in. So think about, your client's going to come in. If you have a bigger space or a smaller space, maybe just sitting in a place or standing in a place so that you can really greet them. Maybe not like, I know sometimes I've walked into a place and it's really like, I say laxy daisy, where they're just like hanging out and they're not ready for you. So if you can feel as ready as possible and let your client know that you want to take care of them, I think it'll make a huge difference. Offering like a complimentary snack or a drink. I always offer a water. I do provide little snacks inside of my small salon, whether it's like a granola bar, or maybe I'll provide like trail mix, or I'll do like skinny pop. Something that can just help my client kind of snack a little bit. It's going to help calm their nerves if it's their first time. Having a welcome drink, whether it's coffee, water. Sometimes I see people offer like those little sodas, whatever it is. And then a team board is something that you have your whole team, or maybe it's just yourself, and it's just letting them know, like, everybody that's in your whole business. Then you have boards that might cater to like styles and trends. You'll also know like a place for rewards if a client can also tap into that as well. So here's going to be another platform for you. So this is called Beautista. So you can see the QR code in the right-hand corner. Beautista is a way that we can help hire people onto our team. So a lot of the times I think we don't know how to find talent, right? So how do we find, maybe you're ready to take on an assistant. Maybe you've created an entire associate program and you want to train someone and you want to be a mentor. It's like, where do you start? Where do you find them, right? So Beautista can help you connect people to be able to find talent and help your team to grow, because we know that in the salon industry, in the beauty industry, it's a lot harder to find people to connect. So this is a great platform for you to grow yourself and grow your team. So consultation. So 97% of hairdressers say they perform a client consultation. Okay. Only 7% of clients agree that they actually get a consultation. So something's happening there that it's not kind of adding up. So let's kind of think of like what could potentially be happening. So your mission is to take your time, listen to your clients' needs, and advise them accordingly. I think everyone just wants to be seen. So I like to ask my client, hi, how are you doing today? See, kind of gauge their temperature, see if they had a good day. Maybe they had a rough day at work, so that I can just have empathy to them and create an experience that's going to be on their level so that they feel calm and can enjoy it. The other thing is, like, they have ideas. They might have wants, right? Maybe they bring in a photo and you're like, what do you love about that photo? And it helps you get on the same page. Maybe they're bringing up concerns. Maybe it's in, maybe they came in for a facial and they're talking about concerns about how their current skin condition is, or whatever it is. We have to be able to be willing to listen. So your mission is, in your consultation, is think about the key steps that are going to help you have that shared reality. So dedicate the time, be an active listener, show your professionalism, and provide your expert advice. I know a lot of the times I like to sit kind of like eye level with my clients, so they feel like I'm not towering down on them and looking at them. I also like to not talk to them through the mirror. It's not a bad thing to do that, but these are just best practices that I like to use. So I like to sit down at eye level with my client and face them and just have a conversation with them, because we are just two humans trying to make sure that our client leaves with what they want. Listening. So a lot of the times when it comes to listening, some of us don't know how to listen to understand versus listening to respond. So listening to understand, I like to listen, and then when it's my opportunity to talk, I like to say, so what I'm hearing you say is da 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 da, right? So I get to reiterate what I think they're saying, and then it gives them an opportunity to share with me, like, yes or no, or sometimes people don't know what they need, right? So then that's when it comes to giving my advice on, I think this will be great. I love the way that that photo looks. I think we'll do what your hair allows, right? So not guaranteeing that you can replicate something, but we always put it in the hands of our clients' current state of what they're in, right? So like if you were doing an esthetician service, like, I will do what your skin allows today. If we're doing a hair service, we will do what your hair allows. So the client's body, their skin, their hair, their nails is in charge of what the outcome is going to be. So 90% of sales happen during the consultation. So when you look at this diagram, listening is key, right? Client talks 60% of the time. The hairdresser is 30%, and then it's okay to have a little bit of silence. So I had to learn when I became an educator that having a silent time or a space is not a bad thing. Not all the time do people always have something to say. A lot of the times, once we get into a service, you either have a client that loves to catch up and likes to do all the talking, and then you just kind of chime in a little bit, or you have a client that is like, I'm so happy that I'm here because now I just get to detach and relax. They look at that time with you that they've booked to really just be an opportunity to decompress. So let your client lead with the percentage of talking that they're doing. You be a great listener, and then if there's some downtime and silence, it's not a bad thing. Embrace it. So let's wrap up what we have here for our consultation. So consultation core rituals. So what are your rituals that are important to you, right? Do you like to ask for your client's hair history? What are some must-haves? Do you like to look at swatch books? Do you like to provide something to drink for them to relax so that they can just feel like, okay, let's talk about this that we have at hand. Do you want to take selfies? Do you like to do before and afters? Do you like to promote yourself that way? Sometimes I like to take selfies before and after. I'll even just do the back of their head. I ask for permission because I want to show them how amazing their hair has transformed, right? I love doing that, and they're like, no way, that wasn't my hair before. And I'm like, yeah, it was. And giving them, the happiness and the satisfaction of how much they have elevated after. So just good things to think about during your consultation. Think about prior setting your time up with your client. So, hey, Linda, you're going to hang out with me for about 4 hours to get your hair as blonde as possible, but keeping your hair in a very healthy state is really important to me. I want to focus on the integrity, right? But I gave them a time frame. The other thing is sharing the cost, right? So how much is this going to cost? We don't want anybody to have sticker shock. We also want to give them the opportunity to find what fits into their beauty budget. So if they have a beauty budget, I want to honor it. It means that I can give them what I can basically let them know this is what I can do to create a look to fit into your beauty budget, but it doesn't mean that we do more work to fit into their beauty budget. We want to accommodate them, but also keep ourselves in mind as well. Also, having a consultation tablet can be a great thing. So maybe you have a consultation tablet as far as like they're filling out a questionnaire while they're waiting and sitting for you. Another thing is like maybe they can look at like little visual portfolios of work that you have created. So just ideas that keep us going to kind of like think about how can we elevate our consultations. So then you get into the treatment lounge. So remember, you want to create this experience to be the best every single time. This is the #1 place where people rush and are trying to speed up on time. And this is what our client has looked forward to this entire service. So I would really, really highly advise you to have this be the last place that you're trying to speed up your client service. Okay, so 80% of clients say shampooing is their favorite part. I've heard that so many times. 70% say they won't go back if they don't enjoy it. And I definitely believe that. Just like if you were going to eat dinner somewhere and you didn't love the food, you're paying for that experience. So you kind of have the thought process on like, well, I'm not going to go back there if I'm paying for it. If you provide a great customer service and experience, a lot of the times the monetary value we don't have to stress it so much because we feel like what you did is worth it. What we did is worth it. The experience that we created is worth it. So your mission is to create a relaxing, stress-free environment. Do not rush through this time. Spend the time to hang out with your client. Sometimes I catch myself doing a scalp massage, and so I do not rush. I actually will like close my eyes for a second and just like try to like transfer my energy into them so that they can feel really relaxed because that's what they've been waiting for. 80% of consumers buy their hair care products based on the smell. I definitely believe that. I think our senses really tap into products that we like or do not like. The shampoo is your customer's absolute favorite part of their salon experience. Create a moment of pleasure and relaxation. So remember, when it comes to protocols, continuing the retail thread. So if I am going, if my client automatically says like, oh, what are you using? I love that smell. Or they might simply say, I love that smell. Then I will let them know, I love it too. What I'm using today is All Soft. All Soft is going to create hydration in your hair. I have a set here today. If you would like to take it home, I think your hair is going to love it. Right? And then continue about their service. Checking in with the client during their personalized experience. So a lot of the times I'll ask my client during a shampoo service, how's the water temperature? And then how's the pressure? Because sometimes we can hold stress through our scalp. So if we're heavier on our hands and we're massaging and it feels a little uncomfortable to them, I want to know. I want to know, do I need to give more pressure? I want to know, do I need to get less pressure? And I say that because I've had that experience where somebody's massaging my head a little too hard and I almost like want to cry. But I also I'm also debating like, does my scalp need this because it's feeling sensitive? It's kind of like when you get a massage, right? When you get a massage and if they hit a muscle that's really tense, you're like, okay, I needed this, but I don't want to be uncomfortable either. So checking in and I always say gauging your client's temperature is a really important factor with providing a service. So relaxing core rituals. So are you going to play soft music in the background? Are you in kind of like a dimmer area? Are you going to put a hot towel underneath their neck? Must-haves are display of products. So people like to see what are you using, whether it's a retail area or a back bar system. Do you have a treatment display with whatever brand it is that you love, right? Do you have it on display so that someone can see it and understand the luxury that you're providing as a professional? Create a relaxing space. If you want to have some visible digital things, I've gone into salons before where they, just like in the photo, they have TVs to show kind of what's being used in the back bar. And then sometimes people provide light therapy as well. And the newest thing that I've seen in the last year are kind of like those head spas, right? So I see that head spas can kind of be uh, anywhere, basically on any type of shampoo bowl. Light therapy is more of like a sensorial thing. So we always think about colors that you see. So when you see like a blue light, things are a lot calmer. It reminds you of the ocean. I also find that like a red light can be a little more like strong as far as like how are you feeling emotionally. Um, I've gone and sat into a salon where they have chairs that like massage, right? That's also something that I think about when I get my nails done. Though that's really important to me. I'm sitting there for my pedicure and I'm like, please turn on my massager because that's why I'm also here. So just remember to check all the boxes as you're going through how you're creating your first class services. So the service part is sometimes seen as a moment of worry and discomfort. I can see how somebody's stress and anxiety can definitely be elevated when they're unsure of what their outcome's going to be. So it's really up to us to just kind of, I always say, calm those little voices for our clients and make them feel really comfortable so that they can relax the rest of their service. Imagine somebody sitting with us. It could be 4 hours. I know stylists that like to hang out with people for 8 hours because they're doing like a transformation. Imagine that anxiety that could be happening there. So any way possible, if we can calm it, just let them know. And we can all do that in our consultation and our shared reality. So share your expertise with your client. Let them know the products that you're using. When it comes to like a haircut, I do this all the time. I let my client know I will show you how much I'm going to cut prior so that you're really comfortable with it. And I'll pull it around and let them see. The other day I did that to my client and she was like, I thought that you were saying that it was going to be a bob. So I freaked out. And I was like, no, like just what's underneath my fingers. So that helped because she might have been nervous the whole time thinking she was getting a bob and she wasn't. So 74% of guests would not visit your salon again if the experience is below their expectations. And I think that's just kind of like a rule of thumb in general, that if we're not happy, we're not going to go back. So you're the professional, continuing the retail thread, being interested rather than interesting. So being interested means that you're listening, you're understanding what your client's saying, you're giving your feedback, but you're just in the moment. We're so lucky to be in a environment where people want to hang out with us and pay us to do something that we love when it comes to the beauty industry. So really feeling like they're getting their all and that you care makes a huge difference. Having empathy makes a huge difference versus it being just all about us. So reminder, include hands-on coaching sessions during the styling time. So a lot of the times people will say things like, I wish you can just come home with me and do my hair every single day. I know we all have heard that before. So when that's happening, they're basically letting us know, like, I think you're great. I love the way that you style my hair. And every time that I try to do it, it's not the same. And there's several things that go into that, right? The first thing is I'm a professional. I do this every day. So I try to comfort their feelings. I say, well, thank you. And I mess around and I tell them, if you buy the house next door for me, then I'll be there every morning to do your hair. So like lighten the mood a little bit, but then also let them know like you do great at styling your hair. And some things that would help you would be the liquid tools that I'm using. So liquid tools are the product lineup that I'm using. So I'm using this, this, and this to help give me the best blowout created for you. And this first product is going to do 25 benefits, and you don't need to rinse it out. You only need a couple sprays. This second product is going to prime your hair. It's going to help speed up our blow dry. And this third product is going to give us longevity with your style. So anchoring why they need to understand why those liquid tools are important, and then giving them hot tips on like, this is how I like to hold my brush, this is how I hold my blow dryer. Around the face I go back, the first curl that I do comes towards the face to frame it. Little things like that, because if that's what they're asking, they're trying to pick to see how can I get my hair to look as close to yours as possible because I love the way that you do it. Sometimes I have clients come in and I'm like, you style your hair better than I do because they're just naturally great at it. So icing on the cake would be filming your coaching session. So they sell these really cool like grippy things that go on the back of your phone now, and they have like it reminds me of like a baby octopus. It has like all these little suction cups. You could stick that to your mirror and basically create your client like a little TikTok. Or you can just create a little video for them so that they can understand this is the way that I'm holding the brush. Because the thing about like a digital platform or TikTok and things like that is that we rewatch them. And then a lot of the times when we're rewatching them, I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, like, I bought that on TikTok Shop, and it's because they're watching a demonstration. They see how the product is used. They love the outcome, and then they want it for themselves. So imagine your client goes back and watches that video of you just teaching them how to do their hair. They're going to see the products that you're using, and it kind of just sells itself on its own, and you don't have to feel pushy. And it's very personalized and reminding them, like, thank you, right? Like, thank you for letting me do this for you. Now you have your own little YouTube video. Reminder is to incorporate tools and products while you're going through this. So this is the blow dryer that I'm using. This is the brush size that I'm using. How far should you spray your product away from the head? So I always go off of a rule of thumb with hairsprays, finishing sprays, and things like that is the length of the bottle is going to be how far you spray it from the head. So typically like a hairspray or a finishing spray can be like almost like a little under a foot, right? And then if that's the length, then I need to spray it that far from the head, because if I spray it closer, the distribution of the product is very concentrated and it can be a little more harsh. Another thing would be like a density rule. So I always say, like, your ponytail, based off of your ponytail, if this is my client's ponytail, that's how much product of shampoo they need, styler they need. So teaching them how to understand how to use their products properly and not overuse them. When you're putting conditioner in your hair, run it through the ends of your hair and don't massage it in your scalp. If you like to use dry shampoo, then spray it in when your hair is clean so that it can help preserve the longevity of our style, so we don't feel the temptation to rinse it the next day. So much goes in to us providing this experience. You all have so much knowledge. And think about when you are retailing, don't think it as trying to sell things to people. Think about it as educating. When someone understands how to use something and they feel educated, they learn to love a product the same way that we love the products that we're using on them. So to wrap it up with a pretty nice bow, when it comes to think about your color and your styling core rituals. So think about something as simple as like how you apply color, right? Maybe you like to put a processing cap on, maybe you don't. Show the products that you like to use. So I like to line things up. When people can see things, they're more prone to understanding why they need them. The other thing that I hear in the salon a lot when I'm teaching this class is, well, they just want to take a photo of it. And I tell them, I understand. Don't get mad. You know, I'll even tell my clients, like, here, let me hold them for you, and you can take a picture with me with the product so that you remember that I taught you how to use this. The other thing is I let them know, you know, the reason why I get to have education is every time you buy retail, it puts money it basically puts points towards me being able to have a class. So even something as simple as today, I get to show up and hang out with you all because of the money that Salon Republic has provided in their retail store and in their dispensary, so that I can be able to come in and share my hot tips with you. All of that happens because of what we're currently putting into the products that we're using. So just letting them know, like, a very simple thank you, like, hey, did you know every time you purchase something for me, it gives me points towards me taking education. And then when you take a class, post about it, right? Like, I took a class today, so excited to share my hot tips with you, whatever it is, so people know that you are elevating yourself. They say every time you take a class, you should raise your prices. Only 20% of people in our industry continue education after they get a license. So that's a very small amount, and it can be bigger. It's just up to us. So think about your core rituals. Think about how you can create a little video for them. Sometimes I like to use a little mini tripod. Think about a phone holder, creating a very comfortable space. I've gone into spaces where they have like processing areas, and then enhancing your branding and imagery makes a huge difference. So Vish is going to be a product that Vish is going to be basically a platform, but it's also like a digital scale that's going to help you be able to weigh out your products. So especially in the salon environment, you'll notice in that top right corner, it kind of looks like it is a little scale, and it's attached to an iPad. And what happens there is it weighs out your product. It creates the history. You also put in the formula so that it lets you know the next time that Sally comes in, we used this amount of color, it processed for this amount of time, and then you actually weigh your bowl after to see if there's any product left over. So then the next time your client comes in, it lets you know that you need to mix a different amount so that you stop wasting product. A lot of the times we waste product because we just overmix, and we spend a lot of money on our back bar services. So Vish is a really great platform to allow us to have a system to weigh out our products so that we can have success with them. The biggest key is weighing out the product at the end to see if there's any residue. This is a way that we cut down waste, we can track inventory, and have accurate color measurements. So I like Vish a lot. I've gone into a lot of salons that use Vish, and they love it. So remember, during your retail, be empowering. So only 1 in 5 clients leave with products. Why? Because nothing was recommended. So our mission is to help our clients understand that this is what I prescribe, and if you take what I prescribe, I can guarantee your hair color. So I always say, when we are working behind the chair or in our environment, the way that we create insurance is by going based off of how we are educating our clients with retail. So the number one missed revenue opportunity in a salon is going to be the retail aspect. At this step of the customer journey, we celebrate the look, share advice, coaching to help our client, and then we're also going to rebook. So think about closing the sale, reducing the friction. So I like to do my retail during. I'm not trying to rush somebody at the end when I'm walking them up to the end of the salon or rebooking. So if I educate my client through the styling service, or even as far as it goes to when I'm applying color and letting them know what I'm applying, or and I'm not talking about formulas, I'm just letting them know, like, this is a gloss that's going to give amazing shine and manageability. And then what am I shampooing with? If I'm doing a treatment, and then this is what I need you to take home so that you can reinforce everything that I've done here in the salon. So think of your take-home core rituals. So how are you going to prescribe your product? How's your product going to be on display? Is there visible pricing of your product? So this is really important because people don't like to have sticker shock. So whether you're going to have like a shelf talker with the prices listed out, or you're going to have a sticker on the bottom. And then bonuses are going to be having a selfie area with a ring light. People feel great after their services. And then offering to take the photo for them, maybe taking it outside. Can I post a little video of you? Whatever it is. And that's also an opportunity for you to feel like, I did that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel really proud and happy of the work that I did. And a lot of the times we just don't take a second to capture the moment. So be in the moment with your client from the beginning to the end. So Salon Interactive is going to be a way that you can retail also online. So Salon Interactive, you can create a store. You can put in all the products that you love. So if your client needs another product and they're not coming to the salon for 4 weeks, they can buy it on Salon Interactive. You do get a percentage for selling it, which is amazing, right? And then they ship it to your client's residence, and then they have the product there. So it just makes things a lot easier for you and for your client. And it also has all the products that you suggest, and you can just customize it to yourself. So things to think about when you're looking at something like Innovo Shop is just an interactive lift and learn. So if you have a salon, a lift and learn means that you have products on display. You might pick up a product, and the minute that you lift it, it's connected to a TV or a screen of some sort, and it starts talking and telling the client about it. So it's very engaging, and as humans, I think a lot of the times we don't like to read, so this helps us pull everything together. And then the last thing that we're going to focus on is going to be your checkout. So remember to be caring. 51% of clients feel rushed, and that's because they're moving on to the next step. So take your time. Ask your client, do they need anything? Hope that they have a great day. I'll see you in 6 weeks. Rebook your next appointment. A lot of the times I like to rebook while my client is processing so they don't feel rushed at the end. These are the products that I suggest for today for you to guarantee your hair color. I understand if you can't take them all, but if you could take these first 2, it would be really vital to reinforcing what we've created. When people assess an experience, they rate it based off of a 2 key moment: the emotional peak and the ending. So what was their greatest point, and then how did they leave? 70% of clients who complete a second appointment go on to book a third, which is a big deal because this is how we create loyalty. Salons that proactively follow up and stay in touch with their clients achieve up to 15% more revenue. So A lot of the times I'll have like a QR code with like my Instagram or any handles that I have. I do like to engage with my clients. I like to like their things. I will comment on their photos in a very professional manner. Your hair looks great. I love your outfit, whatever it is. And then when they come back and they have things to talk about, I'm going to be like, oh, I saw those photos. I have specific clients that love to sit there while they're processing and just show me photos. And I actually look forward to that because I feel very connected with them. So think about your protocols when it comes to being caring. So for service provider and reception area, finish as strong as you began. Book ending a service, solidifying a rebook, which is really important because when they wait too long and they don't rebook and then they try to reach out to you the week of, it's too late at that point. You might be too busy. Closing the sale, and then attitude of gratitude. So thank you for coming in today. I really enjoyed your time. Sometimes it even means just sending a text. So I'll send a text at the end of the day like, I really enjoyed you. I hope you have a great week, and thank you for always supporting me and my business. So when we wrap everything up in a bow, think about your checkout, core rituals, emails. Are you providing little shopping bags? Do you have samples? Just all the things that really put a cherry on top of us providing a great checkout service. Reminding them about Salon Interactive in case they ever run out of products and it's a way for them to get back to it. Maybe providing a Salon Interactive link in a link tree on any of your profiles. And then these are all going to be great platforms for you as well when you're looking to have just a great space for your salon booking. Square, I've used Envision before. I love them all. They're pretty efficient, and they will provide like text messaging and confirmations, and sometimes even a white glove service. A white glove service is going to be when the platform texts you before maybe your client's formula, and then it'll also send your client a reminder text of them coming in. So here's your Salon Emotions must-haves. So we talked about a lot. And I know, excuse me, I know sometimes when we take a class, not everything sticks and it can be overwhelming. So I just want you to know, take it all in. I hope that you took some screenshots. Now's a good time to pop in any questions. If you have any questions or something didn't make sense so that I can address it for you. Remember all the things that we talked about as far as like these are going to be the main must-haves that we need to focus on. And that can happen in a short amount of time, right? So think about your business window, right? Digitally and in person. Think about your core rituals, your consultation rituals, relaxing rituals, which you notice is rituals is very important, right? In your color, cutting, and styling. And then your at-home core rituals, and then also going to be your checkout. So think about all the steps that we talked about today so that we can benefit just elevating our services and our experience from the beginning to the end. So now it's up to you. It's up to you to decide what you're going to change or how you're going to elevate it, or think about it on a light as like, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, but we take education to hold ourselves accountable, to elevate ourselves. So even myself teaching this, I'm already spinning my wheels on like, okay, well, I'm out of snacks. I've been out of snacks for a week. I definitely need to get snacks. Maybe I need to try like little sodas and see how people are going to love those. Maybe I want to like incorporate essential oils, like things like that. It's going to be up to us. So think about the service that we want and how we can provide it to our clients and just create more of a great bookend experience. So I don't see anything in the chat. We're right on the money, meaning it's 11 o'clock. So I hope that you had a great time. I really enjoyed sharing this information with you. I hope that it helped you a little bit, or if you can just take one nugget away from today to help you grow, then it was worth it. So thank you for your time. Take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.